It's easy to become numb to the onslaught of new technologies, each with its promise to change the business landscape. I have been joined today by Avinash Shroff, Managing Director, Transamerica India, to talk about some of the technology trends and specifically around the use of artificial intelligence in businesses. Welcome, Avinash, to this conversation.
Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited about this topic, and I think it's a topic that we all have to grapple with sooner than later.
Absolutely delighted to have you for this conversation, Avinash. Let's start off with the first question in terms of there's a lot of technologies out there. How does one filter the noise, get the signal for the business?
Thank you for asking me that. I think in terms of human evolution, we are at a very interesting phase. If you look at technology adoption, the proliferation of technology in our daily lives, and the adoption of it by the critical mass, we've achieved a perfect scale.
Right.
And I think we have various examples to see. So those who were the fence sitters in terms of not wanting to buy smartphones earlier or not wanting to adopt the internet have now probably switched over, and
Right.
more and more will. The businesses, of course, will have no choice but to transform and adapt as well. So we see the use, as we spoke about a few minutes ago. We see earlier we relied on taxi drivers and local taxi drivers on their intelligence to tell us the best routes available. But now Google Maps is the gold standard used even by them.
Right.
Likewise, I think we relied earlier on travel counselors to tell us which is the best possible options of flight tickets that one could buy. But now the click of a button, and travel agents themselves have made this available on portals and on applications online. So I think the use of technologies, the use of automation, the use of artificial intelligence is going to be more and more predominant in the business landscape in times to come.
Absolutely. So when you touched upon the artificial intelligence usage, now are there use cases where you are looking at adopting these technologies?
Oh, absolutely. I just gave you some examples of what were being used earlier, and I think as you look forward, one can imagine that you would pretty much have stock tips and stock recommendations being made by bots. The ability for a bot to chew and spew out millions of data points and give you personalized recommendations based on your risk profile and your
Right.
investment goal would be a very, very soon possible scenario. I think those are some of the areas. Likewise in travel, I think for a bot to tell you which is the best seat to have in an aircraft based on your requirements, study possible seat maps of various aircraft types and airlines, and come up with the best seat for you.
Right.
Or for cities with multiple airports, to tell you which is the best airport to fly into based on where your destination is or your point of visit is. I think the bots will do that far more efficiently than human intelligence would have done in the limited time.
Absolutely. Very interesting examples that you've cited there, Avinash. Right. So while we have the advantages that artificial intelligence brings to the table, there are also a slew of other challenges that it presents, primarily around the taking away of jobs. So do you see that as a threat?
Well, there are many points of view, and I would address the big thought bubble is AI going to be a boon or a bane? And I think if you look at human beings, where we're kind of programmed to evolve, and we learn to crawl before we learn to walk.
Right.
We learn to walk before we will learn to run. So I think it will only raise the bar in terms of what we would challenge our own minds to do if we are the ones actually giving instructions or a set of data points to a bot or an AI-based engine. I think we're going to rise to the occasion and probably challenge our own intelligence and probably step up. I take the analogy of we first invented the wheel, and then we
Right.
invented the automobile.
Right.
So I think we'd probably first invent AI, and then we'll invent super AI, and then we'll probably implement artificial AI beyond human intelligence. So I think that's exciting. There could be points of contention where people feel insecure about it. But I think it's again one state of mind.
Absolutely.
I'm an optimist, and I would think that it would raise the bar for what human beings can do in their business environments.
Absolutely. One final question that I had, Avinash. So we've seen businesses are changing, disruptions are coming faster than expected.
Yeah.
Now, as a technology leader, and what kind of priorities would you set for the next 12 months?
I would probably invest a lot more in looking at processes that have a basic level of intelligence and automate a lot of those processes. I would then move to goals of more ethics and compliance,
Right.
which would then be needed to be built into training models for artificial intelligence based systems and recommendation engines. I think that's a challenge that we have even with the human environment today, and I think
Absolutely.
we should probably evolve a lot more on that front. I mean, we know what the human is capable of, but we can't predict what a human is going to do next.
Right.
Likewise, we can't predict what the bot is going to do next. So I think the challenge is in terms of telling a bot what it should or should not do if faced with an ethical question.
Right.
How it should handle itself. For example, you could train a bot on making place in a train for elders or for kids, but you need to also probably help it think through whether it needs to create place for a wounded person.
Right.
Right. So being able to apply morals and values in an artificial intelligence based system is something that I would put a lot more power behind at the moment. Human power behind. Yeah.
Absolutely. So lots of learning for the AI models as well as they move along.
Correct. Exactly so. And I think it's quite fascinating if you consider how human beings act and how AI bots act. We're not too different.
Right.
Yeah. Human beings also have essential sensory inputs. We all are a product of what we see, what we hear, what we read, what we touch, what we taste. Right. So we take those become data points in our heads.
Right.
We have a data point saying this is sour or this is warm, the person's angry, the person's this, and based on that we analyze and we give output.
Our inputs, right.
Bots are going to do exactly the same, and I think that it's fascinating that we can actually transfer some of that intelligence onto a bot. I think what will remain a question in evolution is how do you build and transfer your value systems to an artificial intelligence based mechanism.
Absolutely. Right. Right, Avinash. Thank you so much for your views. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you, Ashwini.
Thank you. Right, that was Avinash Shroff, Managing Director, Transamerica India, speaking with us. Do stay tuned for more such videos on ET Edge Insights. Thank you.